1,200 stones between now and Tanabata. Spend your stones wisely so you can save for the next big LR. How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We're back for another Dokkan battle video. In today's video, we are discussing the amount of stones that you can obtain roughly between now and July's Tanabata celebration. Now that we are fully synced on both Global and JP Dokkan, we will be sharing all future celebrations following this past 10th anniversary, right? All stones, all celebrations are going to be exactly the same, and that includes the release of major LRs, right? Normally in July, while the global players were celebrating their anniversaries, JP players would be receiving the Tanabata celebration. Last year, this celebration brought forth the, if I can pull it up here, this celebration brought forth the Tech UI Goku, as well as returning the 9th anniversary LR. So we can expect the same this year. Who knows what it could be, but the point is, whatever it is, will probably dominate a portion of the meta when they release, and probably into the next anniversary, just as Tech UI did. So you're probably at this point going to want to be saving up as much as you can. So the question is, well, how much is that? Well, let's, for starters, talk about the 10th anniversary. I'm sure most of you spent as many stones as you could, but if you had saved stones throughout the anniversary had actually given over 1,300 stones total. I actually think the final total was more than that, but what I had totaled up to the point that I had got to the point that I had calculated out part 3, it was just under 1,300. So it was the greatest stone total count we've had thus far for any anniversary. And so anything that you didn't already spend on the banners should have been pocketed. So just know that whatever total I give you here will be in addition to what you already have. So let's hop into the first major celebration that's coming up. We've already spent basically half a celebration with Saiyan Day following the Daima Vegeta celebration, which was still kind of part of 10th anniversary. So the next celebration we're going to have is the filler April celebration. The celebration is usually surprisingly pretty good in terms of stone, because it does include both a part 1 and part 2, and it includes the April Fool's Day celebration, which, not a big celebration, does give a couple extra stones depending on what it is that they do. So last year, this was the Dokkan Fest Topo celebration, and we got quite a few different stones, right? We got over 30 from login and from login and from daily missions, so that's actually 60 stones in total. We got about 5 stones from these EX things. They never give too many stones, but they do give skill orbs and a few other things, link skill orbs and a few other things. So, you know, it's not much there. And we also got a new quest mode update. So whenever we go through these and there is a quest mode, I'm actually not going to factor that, because we can never predict really when they're going to do these. So I'm just going to toss that out the window, right? And when we do get those, you can just add that to your total. It's usually around 20 or so stones, depending on how many new stages they add. They usually add them in batches of 4 to 5. So, you know, it could be around 20 stones each. So we're just going to skip over that. So the Dokkan Fest Topo gave us 2 stones for the Dokkan event. Another set of stones, 3 stones for the SSJ3 Gotenks Super Easy A. I'm assuming we'll see more Super Easy A's throughout this year. We did get a ton for the anniversary, so they might take a break for a while, but I could also see them tying in a lot, because there's still some that they did skip over from the first year in order to get to, like, the Gogeta and the Janemba, for example, or the Vegito and the Buhan. So we could definitely see them fill in some Super Easy A's, but I mean, they're not that much. We get 3 stones for doing this, right? And then there's the there will be an Easy A for the celebration, so 33 stones there. Now, last year gave us a new challenge event. with the legendary Frieza event and this one, and that gave out 65 stones. So I am going to count around 60 stones for this, right, to our total, because regardless of what is added, even if it's not the same exact content, in some way or another, those same stones get added into the celebration almost every year outside of big celebrations like anniversary and worldwide. The stone count for the monthly banners is usually the same, no matter what month it is, right? In sort of half celebrations, like with the Saiyan Day celebration, it's usually around 150 to 200 stones. On big celebrations where we get like a part 1 and a part 2, like the April Dokkan Fest, it's usually somewhere around 250, right? So we will get a new Dragon Ball story, I'm sure, right? It's been a while since we've got a new one. We got one during the anniversary, and it had been a while before that since we had another one. So I could definitely see them adding in relevant Dragon Ball stories. Those usually run anywhere between 16 to 24 stones, depending on the stage. Most Dragon Ball story events have around 8 to 12 stages, so it just depends on which one they get. There will be a burst mode for 20 stones, and then that was pretty much it, right? Yes, that was pretty much it. Oh, Dokkan Clash for 25, and then SPR for 6 stones, which made the grand total for this celebration around 265 stones on JP. It was a little less on Global because this got tied into like this weird thing with the end of the 9th anniversary on Global, so Global stone count was a little different. So I'm going off of JP stone count for this because this is going to be the closest average to what we should see. So April gave around 265 stones total through all of its events. So we could be seeing something very similar this celebration, depending on what it is. We don't know who the Dokkan Fest is yet. We should know within the next couple of days, but whatever it is, you should be getting around that many stones, which is all stones you should be pocketing, right? Because you shouldn't be spending that much on here. No matter who it is, I mean, most players probably shouldn't be spending all that much. If anything, right, players might want to, drop a couple on the yellow coin banner because, that's the only way you're going to be able to build yellow coins from now on. It is worth noting that there will be pity, right, which kind of changes the dynamic of what you should summon on, which we will talk about a little bit towards the end. So 265 for April, and that brings us to the next celebration. Now, May is a little crazy because May is May is a big celebration. It is the Golden Week celebration, and it tends to err closer on the side of 300. And I think the last year was closer to 350, right? So if we look at the celebration here, we look at everything that was available, right? We had 2 stones per day on the login, and so that's 60, there's 31 days, so that's 62 stones, plus daily missions, that's another 31 stones, not counting weekends. So that's already over 100, that's already 90 plus stones right there. So that's actually pretty that's actually really, really good. Moving on, right, we had the Kid Buu Super Easy A, which gave about 3 stones, right? Super Easy A's don't really give that much. And then we had the Majin Buu Saga Red Zone, which gave about 54 stones. And again, the same thing I mentioned with the Topo celebration with the legendary Frieza event. Whatever the event ends up being for this celebration, it's going to be, whatever the event ends up being, it's going to be, the stones will be similar. They may not be exact, but the total stones for the month will be similar, right? We got SBR and Pets on Battle or ESBR and Pets on Battle for another 8 and 11 if you manage to collect all of them. And then we got 4 stones between the 2 Dokkan events. Not really that relevant. I mean, that's 4 stones. And then we got, now on global, we did get the EZAs for the Goku and Vegeta and for the LR Buhan, which JP had already gotten for their anniversary, right? So I'm not counting that in the total because that was extra, but that is what kind of drove the stone count up to 350 for the for the global side, but on JP it was closer to 300. Now we had 2 EZAs during that celebration, giving us 66 stones in total. All right, we had, what else did we have? We had an SBR for another 6 stones, 25 for an Ultimate Clash. And I think that's, oh, we had 15 stones. Oh, here we go. Okay, so we got a couple more here. We had Intensifying Fights, which was another 15 stones. We had another extra 15 stones from 3 missions added to the Legendary Frieza event, and then 25 stones from the Infinite Dragon Ball History. My brain drew a blank there for a second. So the grand total came out to about 270 stones, plus the extra for the login bonus comes out to about, right, because there's 3 stones for, or is it 2 or 3 stones? It's 2 stones. 2 stones for login bonus, right? So that actually gives us an extra 30 stones than we would normally get for monthly celebration, bringing the total stone count to about 300. Just over that. Again, on global, it was a little more, 366, due to the extra EZAs for the worldwide LRs. Of course, that also includes what we got from Goku Day celebrations, right? So Goku Day celebration also gained us another set of login stones, and that was what Gohan's EZA was a part of, as well as the new Dragon Ball story and a event here, the support memory, which gives out 15 stones. The Dragon Ball story I'm not going to count for this one, but that was about 16 stones as well. And then the login bonuses for Goku Day, Gohan, and Goten Day, which we will see, right, which is 5 which was, what is it? 5 plus 8, 5 plus 9, and 5 plus 10, right? For Gohan, Goten, and Goku Day. And so that brings our grand total here to that brings us to, what is that? 15, 330. 340, 49, 368 was the grand total for the month of May last year. So that's actually pretty good. And that's excluding the worldwide EZAs. So pretty good deal there. Then we'll be leading into the month of June. Now, June tends to be a filler Dokkan Fest, but does also tend to have a part 2. And this celebration last year actually gave quite a bit of stones, because it also, on JP, tends to lead into the Tanabata celebration. And that celebration is usually, that celebration is usually pretty good for players. So we have, right, where is it? It's a little bit down because it's got the part 2, right? So we had the, we had the Goku Black Super Easy A. We had the EX battles, which gave about 3 to 5 stones. We had new Intensifying Fights. We had a Dragon Ball History for 25 stones, and then of course we had the we had another SBR and ESBR for another 6 and another 8 stones. We had 2 new missions added for the Legendary Frieza event, and a new Dragon Ball story, which again tends to give out 20, anywhere between 16 and 24 stones. Of course, another Ultimate Clash for 25 stones. And then last year's EZA was Kefla. There will obviously be another EZA during this celebration, whoever it could be. Probably somebody from this list here. I mean, I could imagine, right? Like a Super Saiyan 2, like pretty much anybody here. Angel Golden Frieza, Gogeta 4, right? Pikkon and Janemba, which could lead to, right, more stones, but we'll just assume one EZA, right? AGL Gohan, or hey, any of the 200% leads. Depends on who it is. But moving back on here, right? So we had the Kefla, and then of course, during the celebration, we got the hit domain event, and this actually gave about 30 stones there, so it was actually a pretty good deal. And then we got another support memory stage for 15 stones, and then a world tournament for 50 stones. So the grand total for this celebration ended up being about 292, so just under 300 stones, which is a pretty good deal considering it's the celebration leading into Tanabata. Which brings us to Tanabata. Tanabata was a big stone count for JP, obviously nowhere near anniversary or worldwide, but still a pretty good amount, right? The Tanabata celebration on JP ended up giving, over 132 stones for these 4 EZAs. Now again, it may not be 4 EZAs during Tanabata, but it'll probably be at least 2, and the rest of those stones will somehow be distributed throughout this, whether it's through new events, new stories, something will be given that will give out the extra stones, because again, it usually remains relatively the same. But that was 132 stones right there. Also combining with the fact that, right, the login bonus for this, right, was I believe the login bonus was 2 stones each during the celebration, right? It's usually more during Tanabata. So that's 62 stones right there, plus your 31 for logging in during that celebration. Well, of course, we had more EX battles, right? Which, again, not that many stones, like 3 to 5 stones there. And then we had where is it? We had the Universal Survival Saga Blue Zone, which ended up giving about 56 stones, and then another Infinite Dragon Ball History for 25 stones, a new SBR for 6 stones, another Peton Battle for 11, assuming you could get everything, as well as the new the new stages added to the Battle of Gods event, and this gave, I think, out 15 stones in total, plus the 3 new stages, which made it like 18 stones. And then, of course, we had, scroll all the way down, a new Ultimate Clash, and then another 10 stones here from the new missions added to the Legendary Frieza event, as well as another ESBR for 8 stones. So the grand total ended up being around 400 stones, I think 394 to be exact. So that's pretty good. So what that means is, right, if we put our total here for each of these celebrations, right, we get around around 265 for the Topo celebration, plus 365. We'll just round up to 365 for the Golden Week celebration, plus 290, we'll just say 295 for the June celebration, and then 395 for, right, we'll just round it up, right, 395 for the Tanabata celebration. That means in total, between now and the end of the Tanabata celebration, we should be seeing somewhere around 1,320 stones. That is a lot of stones to be gathered between now and then. And why am I telling you this? Well, because a lot of us, I know, are gonna want to see, right, what's coming next. There's so much, and we're gonna want to spend, and it's gonna have to be hard to manage those stones in an area where we no longer know what's coming next, right? Last year, we could do this stone budgeting positioning guide, and we can talk about, right, hey, spin here, spin a little there, save here, save there, because we knew what was coming. But now we don't know what's coming, right? It could be literally anything. Legends just released the adult Super Saiyan 4 Goku, one of the hypest things that we've been waiting for in a long time for those of us who have been enjoying Dragon Ball Daima so far. And he could come on global at any minute. He could be the Tanabata LR. He could be a random Dokkan Fest, like he was a random Legends Limited on Legends, right? And I mean, people say that that's not a possibility, but I mean, literally, we got Int Gogeta 4 as a random Dokkan Fest, right? So I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility that they could do that. I mean, I hope they don't. I hope it gets something like Worldwide or Tanabata treatment, but all the more reason you should be saving those stones. And so with 1,300 stones in your back pocket, plus whatever you saved from the last 2 celebrations, including Anniversary, you could be walking into when this guy shows up, or when whoever shows up, whatever it's going to be that you're hyped for, whatever you're hyped for, you'll have the stones necessary, especially in a situation where we have pity now, right? Our monthly celebrations, right? If you're willing to go in here, you might not end up spending so much stones. You could spend less than 300 and still walk out because of pity, right? And the ability to trade in coins. So that's something worth noting, right? Knowing that you have 300 on the line here, or 1,300 on the line here, you can work with that leading into, Tanabata. We don't know if Tanabata Celebration will have pity. Saiyan Day didn't have it, but Anniversary did. So it's possible for the big LRs, they might still do it. We won't know till we know. So it's worth noting that, with 1,300 stones incoming, you may want to be prepared for whatever pity is going to be offered, if it's offered at Tanabata, or possibly, right, whatever is going to be offered at Worldwide Celebration, right? 1,300 stones is pretty much what you can expect up to about Worldwide as well, right? Because the following celebration of that is kind of a half celebration. The August celebration is there aren't typically too many stones, less than 200 usually, leading into Worldwide Celebration. So that's just something worth noting there. So that's kind of why I base this off of what we can expect up to Tanabata, because I know that's probably the next big thing everyone is waiting for. So guys, that is it for the video. If you liked the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And in the comments down below, let us know, how much stones do you have now after the Saiyan Day celebration leading into the next Dokkan Fest, and how many can you expect to have by the end of Tanabata Celebration, assuming you save up all these stones waiting for the next big LR. Let us know in the comments down below. Otherwise, guys, as always, thanks for watching, and aloha.